This is Ashley Stevens of UNCF here with Dr. Brian K. Bridges, Vice President of Research and Member Engagement at UNCF. So he oversees the Frederick D. Patterson Research Institute as well as the Institute for Capacity Building. Brian is also the lead author on the UNCF Career Pathways Initiative proposal. Welcome, Dr. Bridges.
Thank you for having me, Ashley. I appreciate it.
Well, we're excited to be here. This is the inaugural UNCF Career Pathways convening. How have things been going so far? What's your overall take on what's been learned here and what's been shared?
Thank you for the question. This has been an exciting gathering, an exciting confluence of HBCUs and predominantly black institutions coming together to really talk about, to build a community amongst themselves, to learn about best practices, but also to identify the best and most effective career pathways initiatives that will help their students become more immediately employed in meaningful jobs immediately upon graduation. So this is exciting and the beginning of a transformative opportunity for these institutions.
Got it. And we talk about these institutions, we're specifically referring to historically black colleges and universities and predominantly black institutions. What is the significance of UNCF CPI for HBCUs and PBIs?
Well, this is the most significant opportunity for this grant for these institutions is the fact that they have the opportunity to receive an investment that can transform their campuses. And I know that we use transformation very loosely as a kind of casual throw around word, but this is truly an opportunity using models from previous UNCF work through our Institute for Capacity Building. This is truly an opportunity for these institutions to get the resources they need, to hire the right staff, to bring on the right kinds of systems, to revise the curriculum in the right way, to truly create a more seamless and integrated career pathway experience for the students when they enter their campuses.
Got it. And you know, a lot of the presidents have shared different learnings and things they've gotten here from other institutions. What's the importance of HBCUs collaborating with each other to share learnings?
Well, I think one of the things that we hope that will come out of this is that too often HBCUs are not seen as models of best practice. And we know that HBCUs do more with less. HBCUs are more effective based on research from the Frederick D. Patterson Research Institute. HBCUs are more effective at graduating low-income, first-generation, academically underprepared students than other institutions.
Right.
And so the idea that these institutions can learn from each other and then use this opportunity to truly become models of best practice, not just in recruiting, retaining, and graduating those students, but also helping moving them into their careers more seamlessly and quickly.
Got it. And as you head UNCF's research division, the Frederick D. Patterson Research Institute, you know, what will data collected from UNCF CPI, what will that mean for the larger field of unemployment and underemployment data?
Well, it gives us a benchmark for one. One of the things that higher education does not do well is track students after graduation. So the entire field, the entire sector, does not do a good job of, across the board, of saying this proportion of their students are working in these fields, or this proportion of their students are immediately moving into graduate school. And so this will give us a benchmark for HBCUs that will help in accountability metrics, as well as help increase their effectiveness as far as delivering their return on investment to potential students as well. So I think that this can have long-term, decades-long effects for these institutions moving forward.
Got it. And you know, there's been talk, especially from presidents, they don't want to see the notion of the liberal arts education discarded. We still want to uplift that. How does UNCF's Career Pathways Initiative still uplift and enhance the liberal arts education?
Well, I think one of the things that we see is that the liberal arts and liberal education should serve as a foundation for the work that students do beyond college. That being able to be critical thinkers, develop good communication skills, problem solving, those are kind of the things that should be the foundation and bedrock of any good employee, regardless of the field that they'll be working in. So incorporating those elements of a liberal education and the liberal arts into what we're doing for the STEM fields, as well as any other field out there, should be the foundation of the work that these institutions are doing, incorporating their plans. So I think making sure that those liberal education principles are central to the student experience, regardless of their major, regardless of their intended field, regardless of their intended career, is key to helping students get the most out of their experience when they're in college.
Got it. And with the convening here, we've got leaders from the 30 institutions here sharing and collaborating. Is there anything that's been said or anything you've noticed in any of the working sessions that really stuck out to you as the colleges begin to work on their plans?
Sure. Well, there's been a lot that's been said that stands out. I'm trying to think of one of the things that was said this morning. Dr. Henry Tisdale, the president of Claflin, made this comment about making sure that the butterfly isn't just a more attractive caterpillar, and that we need to, basically meaning that institutions shouldn't just be tweaking around the edges, that this needs to be a transformed caterpillar and not when they work through their programs and their proposals, and that these proposals and this work should not just lead to them being a caterpillar in disguise, but a truly transformed butterfly. And that was the thing that kind of resonated with me the most, and I thought it was a great way to sum up the opportunity that exists before these institutions.
I like that. I very much like that. And so lastly, Brian, wanting to know, with the implementation of UNCF CPI, I know we're just getting started, just announced the 30 career planning grantees, and there's more steps to this and more phases to this. What do you see as the outcomes of UNCF CPI 1 year from now and then 10 years from now?
1 year from now, I think our primary outcome will be that the planning grantees will have started their work. Well, the implementation grantees, because we're going through the planning grant phase now, and later this year, in November at some point, we will be awarding implementation grants, which will be substantial, ranging between $1 million to $1.5 million for these institutions. And so a year from now, we expect to see those institutions getting deeply engaged in their work, implementing the work that they propose to do, and starting to see just the initial steps toward building out their entire career pathways. And then 10 years from now, I think we should see, our plan is not to see transformative effects from just one institution, or two institutions, or three institutions, but that we expect to see transformative effects at the vast majority of the institutions who receive implementation grants. Mm-hmm. And when I say transformation, I mean that we've seen a significant uptick in job placement rates of these institutions. We see them as models of best practice on how to integrate curriculum enhancements that align those curricula and classes and coursework with career opportunities and career needs, as well as more enhanced and stronger experiential learning opportunities for students through internships and co-ops, as well as a greater alignment on campus that helps students understand that everything they do from the time they get admitted as a student to the time that they walk across the stage and shake their president's hand, everything they do in that experience leads them to being prepared for their careers. So I think that those are kind of the outcomes that we expect to see 10 years from now.
Got it. And lastly, thanks to the Lilly Endowment for supporting UNCF to create CPI. Do you envision UNCF as a leader in the space of helping HBCU and PBI students gain meaningful employment and postgraduate outcomes?
Yes, I would. Our plan is to build upon this work, and that this should not just be a one-time program, but that we know that our students who attend these institutions, as well as the African American community, 80% of HBCU students are African American. We believe that there are positive effects and outcomes for not only the institutions but the community writ large. And so our belief is that UNCF should become the leader, the model for helping HBCUs and PBIs in this work. And our goal is to attract additional investment, additional supporters for this work somewhere down the road from additional foundations and corporations as well. So yes, the plan is for us to become the model in doing this work.
Got it. And any other acknowledgments to UNCF, the team that helped to put this together and make this happen?
Yes, I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge Angela Van Croft, who was the co-author of the grant. We worked tirelessly on the proposal, and she was critical, and along with Alma Felix, the three of us really kind of led the effort to secure the grant and then stand it up. And then a few months ago, we brought on Ed Smith-Lewis, who really led the execution of this convening. And so I want to thank them and everyone else who played a critical role in helping to stand up this grant. And so, yes, this has not been this can't be done by one person. This is too large of a project. A $50 million project requires many hands on deck. and everyone has been willing partners in helping us to execute this.
Gotcha. And before we cut, I just want two things that I think would be good sound bites from you. I don't know that we've ever mentioned 50 million in any of the other interviews, and maybe not with Dr. Lovelace. If you just speak to the overall, the value and the
Yes.
impact of what this is.
So this is a $50 million grant, which equals the second largest gift ever to UNCF. Our largest gift, of course, was the gift from the Gates Foundation for the Bill and Melinda Gates Millennium Scholars. And so this matches the second largest gift in the history of the organization. So we are sincerely and deeply grateful to the Lilly Endowment for their gift and their confidence in UNCF in carrying out this kind of impactful work that will have long-term effects for thousands of students, hundreds of institutions, and the United States writ large for years to come.
Got it. Thank you so much, Dr. Brian K. Bridges, Vice President of Research and Member Engagement at UNCF, here at the inaugural UNCF Career Pathways Initiative convening.